I can't wait for this one.
Jared's got his quarter on the table, whether he
Does he really?
Yeah. Let's let Jared
Sure.
go.
whether he wanted
I'll
to
go.
or not. He's got his quarter on the table.
All right. I wrote this. So,
Yeah.
All right. Repo, the genetic opera. I found this movie offensive, not because of the relentless gore, but because of its existence. The movie is offensive to my eyes and ears. It's offensive to people with taste. I despise every single element of this movie. The sets look like painted styrofoam, and the costumes look like a cheap sex shop fucked a Hot Topic and had a mentally disabled child who was obsessed with bondage and the Matrix. Do I even need to mention the awful CG work? The post-production soft glow effect on everything, especially the faces, is cheap and ugly. In fact, everything about this movie is cheap. The characters are cheap and one-dimensional, existing in a simplistic yet almost nonsensical story riddled with cliches. But most of all, I detest the music and the inane lyrics. The music literally sounds like the director found some stock music on something like Artlist and just downloaded it. The lyrics are absolutely ridiculous, and across the board, the acting is terrible. I think this might be what happens when you encourage the theater kids who possess no talent at all to keep going. I'm offended by the filmmaker's awful taste and that he shared it with the world. I'm sad that this work exists because it's making the world a worse place to live. I can't believe Paul Sorvino wanted to do this. He probably loves to sing and saw this as his only chance to showcase it. Oh, Paul, just say no to ponytails and projects like this one.
Alrighty then.
Well, there it is. There's the kickoff.
So you didn't like.
So, what'd you think of the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
Well, I would say, this is pretty good, except for the acting, the story, the lyrics, the music.
I'm just curious, Jared. What's your exposure to opera? Do you like it? Do you watch it? Have you seen any?
Well, I mean, I've seen musicals. I've seen.
Well, there's a difference.
Repo, the genetic opera.
No, there's a difference between musicals and opera. Is
this more specifically sort of a rock opera? And would this be sort of considered sort of like a Rocky Horror or Phantom of the Paradise type of genre, or no?
No, it's actually kind of like it's like John Adams. It's like it's like a modern opera.
Yeah, this is opera. This is opera.
It's mostly sung. The emotions is expressed through music. It has running themes with all the characters. It's very much hits all the marks on opera. That's what it is. And I think whether or not you'd enjoy it depends whether or not you actually enjoy that. I know a lot of people who don't like opera.
The story structure is very classically operatic. Heading towards this one climactic moment in an opera house is such an opera thing to do.
Which I did not appreciate, actually. That was one thing I was going. I think is going inside of yourself, being an opera, but an opera, you know what I mean, kind of thing. It's
that's just opera.
It's up front. They start talking.
That's how operas work. But I wish they hadn't have done that. Let's put it that way.
And they plant that throughout the thing. They're always talking about the opera. You hear it blasting from the loudspeakers and stuff throughout the movie. And I'm like, why are they talking about the opera during the opera? And then they went to the movie or to the opera theater, and I was like, oh, there actually is an opera in this opera.
With an actual opera singer singing opera.
But you know what I had to think of as well was Rocky Horror, which started as a musical and ends up on a stage for the last 20 or so minutes of the movie. They go to a theater and do a show on stage.
Right.
which is what this is.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it definitely more than Jared. I mean, I know I was kind of on a tear that night in chat because, I mean, I started it kind of late. I'd had a few drinks. I'm not going to lie. And my jaw hit the ground from like the opening scene. Like, wait, that's the dude from Skinny Puppy. That's Paul Sorvino.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That's what's her name? Who's like an actual fucking opera singer.
Sarah Brightman. There's
yes.
yeah. There's
I mean, if you just described it to somebody, you could your jaw would drop just hearing it described.
In her first film role.
Paris Hilton?
I was
no, Sarah Brightman.
Sarah Brightman. She was great.
Here's the thing. I was laughing with it, not at it. It was so over the top and so fucking bonkers. I mean, clearly this movie wants so badly to be Rocky Horror, and there's really only one Rocky Horror. But this movie was like that song wasn't that great. Oh, this one's actually pretty good. And like there were from scene to scene, this is working for me, that is not working for me. And at the end of it, I was fully invested in watching it all the way till the end.
Right.
I thought that I mean it's I don't know if this is a good movie. It's a very watchable.
Oh, it's not. It's absolutely not a good movie.
I mean, it's like,
but it is watchable.
Like, oh wait,
it is watchable. I did not turn it off. I watched
found another Grizzly too.
I never once thought about turning it off. I was completely engaged.
I never thought about turning it off.
But one thing is, like, I'll go with Chris,
because I love you guys.
Train wreck.
I wanted to turn it off.
God bless you. I think
1,000 times.
It's a train wreck.
I watch it all the way to the end when she's holding her fucking dad.
Wreck, but it was an entertaining train wreck.
I'm gonna mail you the Medal of Endurance, your second Medal of Endurance. Film you hate so much.
Who's completely fine in this?
Yeah, I'll be honest. A lot of the voices were actually pretty good, and I thought Paris Hilton's voice doesn't suck.
No, it was the best thing he's ever done in terms of
and the girl from Spy Kids, she's all right too.
Yeah.
No, everybody did a pretty good job.
No, I'm with Chris though.
Ravino can sing.
The quality.
So that's.
He's classically trained.
If you don't know, this is one of the only times Sorvino left Florida after he retired to Florida because he wanted to film this movie.
I knew it.
I called it. He just loves to sing. He wanted to do it.
Was it shot
I wish I could go in some kind of a time machine and get spit out into the room when he agreed to be in this, because I would have loved to have heard that conversation.
Yeah.
I think the conversation is, hey, Paul Sorvino, do you want to be in an opera? And he was like, how much are you paying me? And they said $800,000. And he said, I'm in. Where in Vancouver do I have to go?
So the budget was it UK or Vancouver? Where they shoot it?
It's Canada. I'm not sure where exactly.
So the budget for this thing's about $7 million, $8 million, I think.
8.5. Yeah.
Yeah. So it threads this amazing needle of looking expensive and cheap at the same time. It's like, God, this must have cost a lot of money, and it looks terrible.
It looks awful.
It looks terrible.
Why the glow? Why the glow effect?
And when they do a lot of money on fake blood.
Yeah, no editor has used the glow effect since 1997, dude. Like, they just don't do it.
On the city at the beginning where they just come in.
I didn't even question it.
It's like, oh, we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
I'll bet you. No, this is just a wild wager, but I bet you the film was actually shot in such an uneven way. At the end, the editor's like, "What am I going to do with this? It's bright and dark and blue and red." And so they watched the whole movie. Yeah,
bingo.
That's probably what happened. It was made, $7 million.
I like the comic book shit that they would use.
That was kind of fun.
That was kind of cool.
That's not good either.
Yeah,
but
it was fun.
Yeah, sure. It just adds to the whole.
No, is it watchable? Yes.
This is great. The one thought that came into my head watching this
isn't good.
I feel like
this story is about a family, the dad and the kids who are running this genetic company that rents organs to people, right?
But here,
and I was watching it for a while and see the interplay between the dad and the kids and the daughter, and it's like, wait a minute, this is the goddamn Trump family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But let's get to but here's the thing.
This is like a great opera.
They don't have a Tiffany though.
But you could set this opera in any.
You refuse to be in it.
You could set this in any world that you wanted, and meaning like you could set this in you could make this like a Downton Abbey looking fucking thing, or you could make it like but see, I feel like I understand these filmmakers. I know it's two people that wrote it, and one of the guys is in it, and the other one's the director. It's like this is their taste and their style, and I find it so abhorrent that they like. I fucking hate this kind of like this is like gamer meets like topic meets
it's like all the worst things.
It's like all the grossest shit.
Burning Man, Drama Kids.
Yeah,
Burning Man.
No, it's not Burning Man. It's not Burning Man.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's Hot Topic, bondage. We're gamers. We play a certain kind of video game. We love the Matrix.
It's like the people, it's steampunk thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a little bit that. Yeah.
No, it's hedonistic.
Tim Burton made an Evanescence video.
Yeah. Yes. There we go. Yes.
Right.
It's just all the bad choices.
It's full of visual hedonism, much like Burning Man. I can see that. It's just this movie is all self-indulgence. It's all just getting it out there and showing everything.
But I mean, you got, kind of like the last film, like Dark City. It's singular and it is an achievement because you can tell this was somebody's passion project. The guy's funded it pretty much out of his own pocket.
No fooling.
Money, right?
Yeah,
they funded it. They funded it out of the profits from putting on the actual opera.
Oh wow!
Yeah. The stage show was a success, right?
So the stage show paid for the movie.
Yeah.
Also, I looked up that this guy directed like a lot of the Saw
costume, too,
sequels, and I fucking hated it even more.
Well,
So,
there's where his money came from, right? From making Saw movies.
Yeah.
Probably.
No, mind you, I thought that I'm with Chris and thinking like the music, which I, again, I do like opera. I think it's great.
I've seen many operas.
Me too. And it's good song, song, bad song, good song. It's
it got better as it went along.
It got
a little better.
When it got close to the end,
better.
it started getting really grand.
When
But
Sarah
and then it got really bad again.
But in the middle, I was like, there's only one Puccini. It's like not everybody can write.
Surgery.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah, nobody.
I have Zydrate Anatomy on a playlist that I listen to. Like, I legitimately like that song.
Which one's that? How does that go?
That's the one in the alley. That's the
where they fight in the alley.
Well, it's
the one where. Yeah, I know the one you mean.
Yeah, it's
just cut to the clip, Scott.
The Zydrate goes in the little gun, and the gun goes up against her anatomy.
Oh yeah. In the alley, right? Okay, got it.
Yeah. Also, Buffy's boss, I forget his name, the character or the actor, Anthony Murray Head.
Stewart. Right. Anthony Stewart.
Yeah.
Was he in the Repo opera before he was in this?
No,
they brought him in for this thing.
We're all going like, who is that? Who is that? Oh,
he was in Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog.
Oh, okay.
The absolute
he does a really good job in this. Actually,
he actually does.
The worst character and the worst singer is the non-masked brother. Holy fucking shit!
Oh, wait.
Yeah. So, but the one thing I'll say about that is he's playing this is a very classic trope of opera. Is you have a sort of screechy, like cartoonishly dumb character. Like
but he can't sing either. Like his voice is awful.
In a lot of situations, when that character in an opera is a good singer pretending to be a bad singer, usually, like what this is it's an
that's asinine.
It's an extremely violent version.
I want you to be a good singer who can't sing.
Well, that's a tension that happens inside of the operatic structure. It's like you have these set characters that show up in opera after opera, doing exactly what Tad was describing.
From a structural perspective, it's an extremely violent version of the Barber of Seville. Like the way the comedy is structured, the way that the story is structured, like it doesn't go to the same place. But like this is very classic in terms of how it's made. In like you can tell the guys who did this actually know a lot about opera. Yeah, like that's the crazy part about watching it.
The draw for me was
because they were in the theater class and
that's definitely true. But I remember
unfortunately, some teacher said go for your dreams, and then they did this.
I was drawn to Sweeney Todd in this, watching this in terms of the amount of music and the kind of
Sweeney Todd's better.
And
I like the songs better in this.
No, me too. It was more clear. It was.
There's a lot of kink in this too. There's like graphic surgery, like incisions and shit, and then there's weird moments where it gets super.
This poor guy right here, and
kinky.
When he's puppeting, when
these guys right here, and
that's pretty funny. I laughed out loud, and not ironically, when he was puppeting the dead guy.
There's a point in this movie, maybe you guys had, where I go, "Oh, this is literally one of those things that's over here and cannot be compared to many other things because it is like." They went for a very specific.
They went for it.
Yeah. It's somebody's dream, man.
But I
got about 80% of it.
But I don't think they hit it exactly. Like I just don't think they achieved it.
Good movie. It is a watchable train wreck.
It is. It is. That's a
There's an XY axis. There's an XY axis of movies. Right. There's a good, bad, and I like versus I don't like.
Right.
And this one for me is right up here in this corner.
Like, where Grizzly 2 is.
This is a terrible movie that I love.
Right.
That's that is the Grizzly 2 corner.
Yeah, I love to love terrible movies. I love to love terrible movies, but I mean everything I wrote. I could not love this. It was just this is not The Room or Grizzly 2 to me.
You couldn't find something to grab onto in here.
Nothing. Like not a single thing.
But that's the thing is it's not bad enough to be The Room. Like it's not
right. It's not that bad.
It's too competent. It's not
bad enough to be Grizzly 2.
Too competent.
That's true.
Yeah, it's too competent for that. And
but it's like
that.
Well, that's why I think that's why it pisses. No, I think that's why it pisses me off more because it's like when you can't hit your mark,
I don't think it could be anything other than it was.
I don't think the guy who made this set out to make Grizzly 2.
No, but I don't.
No,
think
but I'm
anything,
saying you like you. I would rather have the worst
thing.
thing or a good thing, and this is somewhere in this purgatory of good and bad. That's just
you're not. This is not the worst thing. This is not like what was the 2 black and white sci-fi things John picked a couple weeks ago.
I know what you're talking about. That,
yeah, like it's
outer space.
It's like Plan 9 level bad. It's
well, you
not
know,
Grizzly 2 level bad.
Whoever made this,
not just below that, but it was still very watchable.
Yeah, whoever made.
But I would rather watch all of that shit than this 100,000 times.
But whoever made this, they did a successful run with the opera. They played it on the stage and they did really well, and so it was worth the effort trying to make the movie of it. And just there are probably a number of movies I can think of that start out as successful stage plays and into terrible.
Also, honestly, getting paydays for all your buddies too.
Yeah, true.
I bet I would like this movie.
Didn't make any money. It made like less than $1 million, and it cost $8 million.
It was barely
but
put out in theaters.
It has built a cult following for it, and he took it like on a road show, right? Because the distributor didn't really put any money behind it.
Probably embarrassed by it.
He's like, well, but like, okay, honestly though, I would like it better if it was set in a different world. I mean that. I would love to maybe watch that version because I might be able to get behind it if it wasn't this particular world.
But what other world could
but the exact same story?
Because it's a science fiction world.
It's a science fiction world. It's true. But I still think you can do. I mean, if it's science fiction, then there's no holds barred. I mean, you could have science fiction, but they all still dress like it's the 1800s. Like, who cares? The 1700s.
I don't know specifically about the version that they put on stage, but in a normal opera, this would be 2 sets. This would be probably an outdoor sort of alley set, and then an indoor set that could play as the house, and then the opera.
A blackout area where they can do like soliloquies and librettos and like. But this is also one thing about opera. There's traditional like prose films, like narrative films versus musicals versus operas. I was feeling that the metaphor is like with a prose musical, you're like a prose film, like a real narrative, you're like on solid ground. And then you watch a musical, you're in the water in a pool,
in a liminal space,
holding on to the side.
Okay.
Because there's lots of talking parts, but you get to hang on to that part. But there's also you're trying to tread water a bit because you're doing musical stuff, and it's a little weird. Opera, you have to let go. It's like there's nothing to hold on to. You are awash in the music, and either you can find the meaning and the narrative space in just sung stuff, or
just lyrics.
Yeah.
So
this is wall to wall lyrics.
It is wall to wall music.
And the lyrics are very on the nose. It's just literal.
Like that's another thing. That's another opera thing, though. Yeah. Like that's another.
That's what I hated as well.
We just don't realize that because most of them are in Italian.
Yes, or French, or hopefully German. Those German operas are good.
Well, okay, so
I need the ring. You've got the ring. I'm a dwarf. I live in a mountain. kind of thing. It's like it's a German, so it sounds cool, but that's what they're saying.
Yeah. I have not actually seen an opera.
It's the Tool song that's
on stage, like a real opera. So this is sort of a small exposure to, I guess, what is closely to be an opera. And I mean, I shouldn't make a decision based on this, but I don't think I would like the opera.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's okay to not like the opera.
I'm not a big opera person.
I know probably 10 or 12 people who I know well enough to have these deeper conversations with who cannot fucking stand musicals. It doesn't matter what it is.
I was almost on that line. No, I hate fucking musicals, but like I have like 5 that I would.
I'm with you. I got 5.
But what I'm saying is like it's the same type of thing in terms of it just doesn't work for some people.
It's just an automatic no. It's an automatic.
It's hard to be like a theater actor because so many of my friends are also musical theater.
And musical theater is completely different.
It's so different, and they just love it. And some of them do both, and they're very good at it. But it's just a disconnect with us where I'm just like, yeah, okay, you're gonna go do the musical, Well,
I did both, and I bounced off of being in musical theater very hard. Like
the first one
I can watch it, but being in it, no.
The first one I ever saw live was La Boheme in San Francisco when I was
saw that.
And man, I almost left crying because it was like it's when you're in the theater watching it, the emotions are out there and just wash over you. Even though they're
I saw the fucking dude, the Moulin Rouge dude.
You didn't do the Ring cycle, did you?
I did.
Oz?
We did the ring cycle in '99, and I did. Why am I blanking? Baz Luhrmann's La Boheme.
That must have been interesting.
Insane, over the top, cost $1 bajillion, probably lost $1 bajillion, but other operas as well. But those are the ones I really remember. Was the entire ring cycle, and then
Because I don't think I have the stamina to do the entire ring cycle. I know the story, but man, that's a lot.
Götterdämmerung on a work night was an endurance test that I do not want to ever do again.
How many hours was that?
5 1/4.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
In one
After
go. And there's still 3 more to
Fuck.
go, or 2 more to go.
No, the Götterdämmerung's the last one.
Yeah, nonetheless.
But
Also,
Siegfried
we were
was 4
talking about the
hours.
Return of the King. It's the same thing except an opera.
but I mean, I like the music, and when you listen to like the Wagner stuff, you really like Siegfried in particular. Like this is literally like the entirety of the score from Excalibur. I'm fucking
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Well, that's
and
the
I
thing,
should mention though that I do like when I listen to classical music, if there's like one piece from an opera, I will like that.
Oh,
like
yeah,
just
that's
audibly.
Yeah. I mean, like Nessun Dorma can bring me to tears no matter how many times I listen to it. There's individual pieces.
Everyone likes O Fortuna.
Yeah,
Everybody likes Ride of the Valkyrie.
Yeah, exactly.
of course.
Everybody
I-
likes.
I love
Lockman.
the scene. I love the part at the end of Conspiracy where he's talking about how much he fucking hates Wagner.
Well,
Anyway,
golly.
this movie,
Sentimental
I don't know,
Bavarian
it's
shit.
somewhere around here.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I have no thumbs, and I must scream.
You know, also,
This
Paris
is one of our special. You know, where it's like fuck you and thumbs down at the same time.
Oh, okay. No, that's
Like-
legitimate. That's legitimate.
This is. I wanted to watch 2 movies I really like on my birthday, so I picked 2 movies I really liked for my birthday.
No, I found it compelling.
appreciate
I never stopped watching. And Paris Hilton needs to do her hair dark. She looks stupid.
I'm actually upset with you, Tab, but I still love you.